Give me face. Ah, your face scarred never decline. My God, eat it. For real though, eat it. Like makeup by me, eat it. Hi, beautiful. Welcome to my channel. I can't even talk. I'm so excited for this video. I did this Beyonce inspired hair. It took a very long labor of love, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's get on into it.
All I gotta say is, mwah! And you already know who it is.
So let's get started with the products we use. We got some JaLeah 10 volume developer. I'm using 10 because we're just depositing the color. We're not trying to lighten the hair. I've got this dark brown, but would I recommend you get that color? No. Get a medium. Get a medium instead. So get a medium like this one right here, and then I prefer you get a light brown instead of this medium, but that's just what I use, and through trial and error, and that's what I can tell you. And then next we've got this high lift golden blonde, and they didn't have a third one, so I got it in a different shade as well, but I kind of ended up liking this shade more than the Ion. And this is the Clairol brand. Again, I know y'all know your girl is not a professional hairstylist. I'm just doing what I can do. I'm trying my best out here. I watched a few videos and said, bet I'm gonna try my best, so this is what I got. And you know, I'm gonna let y'all know the mistakes I made so that you cannot make those same mistakes. So here's the unit from Ashimary. Shout out to them for sending me this unit. It's sponsored today's video. This Beyonce blonde would not have been possible without this blonde unit. This is what the unit is looking like. All information on it will be down below. Starting off, I'm going to put a little Vaseline on the lace because it's not cute having dye on your lace. You know, you want to be able to put on your wig and not be mad because it's brown splotches all over it, you know. This prevents that. Just a small thin layer on it, and once you get that going, flip it back around, pop it back on the cap. I put this plastic bag on my mannequin head because a dyed up mannequin head also is not cute, so let's keep it cute. Putting in some pins to hold this wig in place, and I'm adding a little bit of Vaseline to the front of the lace so that at least if it does get on any part of the lace, it's not the immediate front area. And then I'm just sectioning off the hair. This is my inspo for the Beyonce hair. Man, this hair was a lot of trial and error. Just trying my best to just, first of all, get an idea of what I was going to do in the first place, because, you know, I think her hair is like a really good sew-in with very minimal leave out, but her leave out is like brownish, and then the back of it is blonde, like it's full blonde. So I think it's like where her parting area is, and then like a small bit in front. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of that here. And can we just take a minute to say this Beyonce tour era has been serving looks after looks after looks, but in the earlier stages of the tour in Europe, she had like a browner toned hair, but then when she came over to the US, it got more blonde. So that's the inspo where I'm heading towards, and I'm just getting my dyes together, putting them in the bowl. Here's a pro tip: don't do what I'm doing. Don't do what I'm doing. Eventually I realized, hey, this is kind of taking a long time. So although I've dyed hair before, like I think when I just forget, like I haven't done something in a while, I just forget how to do things. Like clearly I've done this before, and I've cut the back of the tube open so it's easier to deposit the not the liquid, I know this is about to say liquid, the color, girl, the color. And this is me just getting everything ready before I added the developer. And this is what I will recommend to y'all. First and foremost, if you have a bowl like me with the lines on the side, how about instead of dropping the dye in first, how about we mix in the developer first? You know, how about, that's why I'm here, y'all, to tell y'all I can learn from my mistakes, because it just makes more sense that if you're about to color something and you have to have precise measurements, maybe we should measure the add in first if the other one is going to be what it's going to, you know, does that make sense? So I think I added a little bit of too much developer, and then I started questioning it too hard with these ones because it had a different consistency. So I'm just like, do it need more? Do it need more developer? But it didn't. So my pro tip is just measure out your developer beforehand so that it's already, you know how much is in there. So this is all my colors I got going. I got my light golden blondes in the back. They are the same color, but they're different brands, so I just mix them differently. And then my light brown and my medium brown, which you should get. Now turn on that Beyonce, channel your inner Beyonce. Look at some inspo pictures again. Get your vision going. See what you got to do. And now, I strongly recommend that what I should have did was tested this in the back, rinsed it out, saw what the full effect was going to give, and then carried on with the rest of the unit. But what I did was, this looked pretty good. And I kept going. And you know, that don't always mean pretty good. It looked pretty good means it's going to rinse out the color you want to rinse out. All in all, my color was just a little bit too dark with that dark brown. It gave dark brown. like it said it was, and I guess I was shocked by that. So just get a medium brown and get a light brown instead. That's my recommendation for that. But the technique I did was pretty good, so let's get into that. So I'm going in with a very small, air section of hair getting, saturated with that dye. This is so hard to explain. Like, y'all see me doing it? I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying to get a very small root is what I'm trying to say. So I'm trying to make sure the root is blended, because a hardcore, rough root is not cute. It's not attractive. And then once I get that dark brown, which will be your medium brown, I'll go in with that medium brown, which would be your light brown. And I'll blend those two together. So that's a little bit of a transition, because I noticed it wasn't just fully dark to light. And yeah, that was my technique. It's all about just blending and trying really hard to be careful and take your time, because I know things are going to feel like this wig took me 3 hours. I was sitting down for 3 hours. Beyoncé done turned off, went through 2 more albums and was not done still. Had to wait for it to process, because I had the front. So maybe don't take 3 hours. Maybe that was the cause for why I was darker than what it needed to be. But take your time, definitely. I really just want to make sure that I knew I was recording it, so I wanted to be able to be like, look, follow me, do what I do. But I think you'll feel less hot pressure if you're just doing this in the comfort of your home with no camera and bright lights on you when it's 2 o'clock in the morning. We gonna be in 2 different setups, so maybe it's not gonna take you 3 hours, but it did take me 3 hours. And a lot of courage, because I was looking at pictures for weeks, like, how am I gonna achieve this? I didn't realize it was a sew-in. I didn't realize it was her leave. I don't know what I thought. Anyway, girl, once we got to this middle section, all this is going to clip your hair up right the first time. All this is going to be blonde, so we breezing through this. All this whole section is going to be the same high lip golden blonde. I really like that shade. I feel like it really matched the tone of what Beyonce's hair gives on stage. Sometimes it leans more brown, sometimes it leans more bright. I think this was the perfect shade for that, so I really enjoyed this shade. But I think I did like the Clairol color more. I ended up doing that in the back section. All this back section is the Clairol, because I wanted it to all be the same tone. And then once I got done with the back, I moved on to the Ion color and just blended them together. But do I recommend the Clairol more? Yes. And I think it's a little cheaper. And also, if you don't got a friend who work at Sally's, get a friend who work at Sally's, because that dye was $70. So I got my friend, I said, friend, can we make it 40? And we did. So boom, this is me telling y'all what I was going for once again. In the top part, it looks like her leave out is out, and I really like the way that looks. It gives a very natural vibe, so I wanted to emulate that. So add that, what should be your medium brown, to the root, and just make sure that's all saturated. If you don't saturate the hair and the color, it's not going to take it fully. So just make sure you get the underside, get the weft, because the weft is blonde. You want a blonde weft and a brown hair, so get that, and then go in with that medium brown. I realized that she had some longer pieces and then a brown and then some blonde pieces. It was like a highlight kind of thing, so that's what I ended up trying to emulate as well. And then so I added the medium brown, which would be your light brown, down a bit of the length, so I had a little bit of a pattern going. And then once that was done, I added that highlight golden blonde, blended it into the medium, which would be your light. And yeah, it was cute. When I hit this part of the hair, I was like, oh, not me being a hairstylist, not me kind of having a technique. I said, check my technique. For real, like, I'm really proud of myself for the technique job I did in this unit. This is me also zooming in, focusing on the roots. I'm like, this is what it needs to give. Like, I need to give this, and maybe I could do this a little bit better as well. But I'm just also really critical of myself. But I think I did pretty good. So I realized that if I wanted to have a tiny root like that, I would need to do something really small. Use a utensil that's really small. So I used a spoolie, an eyebrow spoolie, and it worked perfectly. I just covered it in that little small section, and I did a little back and forth with it because I didn't want to move it too much, because the Beyonce root not that long, so I couldn't let down Beyonce, and that was how I achieved that. So again, with that Vaseline on the lace, it just helps protect the lace so that you can go back and forth with the dye, and it's just going to dye the knots a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, and then I'll go in with that medium brown as well after I'm done with all the like, this is a process, y'all, and I only did this to the perimeter of the wig, and it took me forever. Anyway, then once you get that medium brown, you go in with that high lift golden blonde, blend them all together. And that was just the back of the frontal. I thought the back of the frontal was a little bit longer than the front, so when it came to the front of the front, I was really just making sure that that root was really tiny, and I was going with very small sections, so I could just ensure that the root was saturated and very tiny. So this is kind of like a labor of love for real. Like I really took a lot of time and effort, and I did look at Beyonce's hair for weeks. Like, how am I going to achieve this? So when I got the wrong dye, it really like was kind of disheartening. So I had to take a couple days away from the wig. Like, damn, I just put my creative pursuit into that, and it wasn't what I wanted to be the first time. Ugh. And I had to like get it together and come back. But anyway, y'all, I'm so glad I could make this into an 18-minute video when it took like hours out of my life. So I can tell you how I messed up, so you don't have to mess up the same way I messed up. I think that's part of my purpose. I don't know. But once I wrapped up the front, I was really sufficient, and I made sure that I had those highlights in the front. This is me trying it on, because after looking at it for weeks, like, this is the wrong shade. I just was like, let me see. I'm about to put on this wig for another video. Let me just see really quick what this is giving. I was like, okay, it's cute, but it's giving Savannah James. And I'm supposed to be Beyonce. And this is giving Savannah James. And them is just two different women. You know, Savannah's hair always looks good, so immediately back to drawing board. As soon as I got the courage, as soon as I felt like it, I'm like, oh, back to drawing board. So back to drawing board. I sectioned out the parts I had, and I got some color prep. I wanted to get some color oops, but color prep and color oops be like, you want one of us? Well, here's me. So I used it, and this is what I did. I added the product to the hair, but please don't do this. Like, do it right the first time. This is unnecessary. I found through trial and error, through testing in the back, like I should have tested in the front, that I could just do the root and then add this honey brown to it instead, so that the brown from the light brown or the medium brown, whatever brown, they blended together, and it looked decent. You know, is it perfect? No, but are things ever going to be? Probably not. So after, you know, realizing I was going to see Beyonce in like a matter of hours, I was like, girl, the wig got to be what the wig is. So this is what it is. And if I had more time and Beyonce didn't have to see me on that 26th day of July, I would have kept working on it. But Beyonce had to see me, so this is what I had to do. And also, it really isn't that bad. I just think I'm working on my perfectionism and allowing myself a rough draft and the chance to mess up and try again. And I think we all deserve a chance to have a rough draft. So I'm trying really hard to beat myself up about it. But also, like, it was really hard to beat myself about it when the technique was given. Like, it was like I know how to dye hair or something. I just didn't do it the right shade. That's it. So it's time for the install portion. Woo! I've been talking y'all's ear off. I'm sorry, friend. Like, I'm almost done. It's time for the install. I realized that I didn't rinse out that Vaseline all the way like I would have wanted to. Like, things just kept happening and made me be like, ugh, who is this? Who am I? You know? But I digress. If you just rinse out your hair and wash it properly, give it a good like 2 or 3 washes. If you don't have to see Beyonce in a matter of hours, you know, definitely wash your hair so you get that Vaseline out when you rinse it out for sure. But I ain't do that because I keep telling you, Beyonce had to see me. Beyonce was amazing, y'all. Forgive me telling you about how to install this wig. So I'm just using Ericka J glue, and I already did my ball cap. You want to see updated glue method? We can do that. That's immediately okay. But definitely knew if I'm about to see Beyonce, this wig about to be sweating, I need Ericka J to hold me down. And held me down. She did. So shout out Ericka J. And I was so excited about my fan. Little did I know. Just wait, y'all. Just wait. Oh, but y'all seen my fan in the beginning. Y'all got a fan. Why I forget, like, y'all seen the whole intro. Anyway, girl. I was like, let's talk about Beyonce. Beyonce was so good, y'all. Like, I think I got to see her 2 more times to fully process everything that went on, because it was just so amazing. And I'm so thankful I got to see that in my lifetime. And to do it in a unit that I had inspired by her, and, you know, worked so hard on. And yeah, and this brand been like, where's the video? Where the video? And it's like, y'all, the video, I just been having a rough time with perfectionism, y'all. But finally it was here, and I look decent. Y'all probably gonna be like, you ate it up, but I'm still working. I hope to, you know, better my craft. I wish I could go to hair school just to learn. You know, I don't want to utilize my license or nothing. Just let me know. You know, I just want to, like, know. Y'all understand? Like, don't y'all just want to learn things and just not have to use them for monetary gains? Like, I just want to know. But for not knowing, I think I did pretty well. This is me realizing I did pretty well on the dye job. I was really proud because her root was so particular. I think it even is a little bit more blonde, but I think, like, it just gives so natural. Like, if y'all can see what I was talking about here about it just being a little slick, that was bothering me. But we're going to have a solution to that as well, just in case this happens to you. You know, I've got the solutions for all the mistakes I made in this video. Like, wow. Anyway, y'all saw the install process. It wasn't too bad. And the wig fit really well, so it made it a lot easier. This is me just prepping to go on the car because we had to drive to Detroit. It was a 3-hour drive. So I'm like, I can show them how I wrap my hair up. So this is how I wrap my hair up for bed. I got a stocking, and these are socks I ain't wore ever, and just had sitting around. Cut the holes out. I mean, cut the feet out. The holes. Girl, what am I trying to say? I'm a little high. Can y'all tell? I just cut holes in the bottom of the stockings, and I put my hands in them, and I pulled my hair through. This is me getting on the road, and then I came back with my fan. I'm so hot. I'm heated. 10, 10, 10s across the board. Like, I saw Beyonce, y'all, in this wig. Okay, so my solution was, also, when you're just wearing your wig for periods of time, you just add some spray to freshen it up. Some lace spray, but to freshen it up some more, get some dry shampoo. Dry shampoo saved this wig's life. I didn't wash this wig on my head. Y'all saw how greasy it was when I left. This is dry shampoo. I'm trying to show y'all. Some TJ Maxx. It was 15 bucks. I can't imagine how much it costs outside of TJ Maxx. 15 bucks. It was from the Dry Bar. I saw the Dry Bar and I was like, oh, that's a brand. Like, they got their own. You see my lace? You know, they got their own, like, you see why it's not focusing, you know? But anyway, my thought process was that they had their own, like, company, so that they dry shampoo must be pretty good. Now you guys can see how I'm refreshing my wig after the dry shampoo, and it's looking really flowy. Like, I was really upset that the oil was kind of weighing it down. I think I put a lot of oil in, like, the flat iron process. I just wanted the hair to look really flowy, and then I think I just did too much. I think I was just overthinking it, y'all. My advice to y'all is, like, don't overthink this. Like, because y'all saw how, like, pretty good it looked. It could have probably looked a lot better if I was overthinking so hard. I was just overthinking everything about this year's wig, because I just want it to be good. I want it to be, I'm supposed to be like Beyonce. Like, that's a lot to compare to. I don't know. I've done it before, but nothing like this. This is really particular. Like, our hair these days looks really good. A little bit Sebastian Shaper Plus on top to get some flyaways down, and a little bit of concealer on the part to refresh it. And what, y'all? It's giving. Like, let me just put on my outfit. And also, I told my mom to trim my hair, and she was like, I'll just trim a little bit, and I think she didn't know what I meant. So I did a little blunt cut myself, and that's what the hair is giving, full from root to tip now. And it was before, but just like, I don't like when it's not all the way full, you know, just really blunt. So this is what it's giving, y'all. What is it giving? Beyonce? I don't know. It's kind of giving Beyonce, ain't it? Yo, what? I look very good. Hold on. Giving the hair a little brush through. What? Stop it. Like, stop. Clearly, I gotta fan myself off because I'm heated. Like, I gotta cool it down, man. Heated. You got me heated. What? So it was a labor of love. I'm glad y'all got to see the process. And I'm glad I got to rock this in front of Beyonce, her doing her thing. It was very lovely to see her. It was amazing. And I'm so glad that this came out. It came out. It was a lot of work. Hopefully it's not as much work for you. And if you liked it, leave me a like. See you in the next one.